Hello, everybody. This is Dave England from Wine with Dave. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight's going to be a really awesome time. Let me just start by saying what I'm drinking. I'm drinking Derivative. Can you see that? I am not being paid by these guys, although maybe I could. El Dorado Derivative Single Hopped Pale Ale. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's fruity, I'll say that. And do you like my glasses? I like these things. They're good. Yeah, if you're just here and you're going, what the heck is this? Why is this on a page that I'm normally following and I never see this stuff? I get you. I know where you're at. This is just a simple, fun talk show that has a game that starts in about 2 minutes. So hang in there. But it's an opening game called, what do I call it? I completely forgot what I call it. I call it, oh my gosh. Did you know? Oh my gosh. I've been doing it since April 1st. Forgot the name. I do Did You Know? It's some really strange facts. Have a lot of fun. And then I bring on a guest. And tonight, I've got a Viking. This guy's cool. Real nice guy. Jordan Stewart. You're going to like him. He's coming on in a few minutes. But go ahead and follow. Just go up and click on the follow page and follow me. I had a good day today. It was pretty relaxing. I was working, answering emails and working on websites and just doing different things, and then also taking some time to prepare for tonight. And it just went pretty smooth. That's my Tuesday. Tuesday's pretty smooth. Jeremy told me, did you know? Yeah, did you know that Dave England forgot the name of the show? Did you? I bet you didn't know that. But he did. He's telling me the name of the show. Jamie Dorsey, my cousin. I wish I could join you guys, but at 9 p.m. I watch Vikings on Prime. He's obviously kidding. He's probably watching right now. All right, are you ready for Did You Know? But first of all, I got to say it's wine o'clock. And it's going to be wine o'clock for the next hour. Here we go. Did you know? Did you know? I got the wrong camera angle for Did You Know? Got to do the right camera angle. And I'm going to show you another camera angle in a few minutes. Hang in there. It's really cool. Did you know? And this theme is state laws that are really weird. Did you know in Alabama it's illegal to drive blindfolded? But you can do it anywhere else. If a cop pulls you over and you're not in Alabama and you're blindfolded, you can tell him, aha, I'm not an Alabama officer. So he cannot give you a ticket unless you're speeding. But don't speed, just do the limit. Wear a blind, no, I'm not going to go there. Did you know in Alaska you can't put an animal in the back of an open vehicle? Probably a lot of bears will be chasing you. Did you know in Arizona, it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub? Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. In Arkansas, you can honk your horn. No, I'm sorry, you can't honk your horn near a sandwich shop after 9 p.m. Why a sandwich shop? You can't do it. They just, I don't know. Just not good. It's not right. It's not politically correct to honk after 9 near a sandwich shop. Did you know in California it's illegal to whistle for a lost canary before 7 a.m.? Enough people complained. In Colorado, it's illegal to keep a couch on your porch. Wow. I did not know that. See, I learned things too. This is going to blow your minds. Are you ready? In Connecticut, you ever go to Connecticut? Little uppity Connecticut? I'm one state away from there. In Connecticut, a pickle must be able to bounce. Crazy. A pickle must be able to bounce. In Delaware, you can't sell dog hair. It's illegal. Did you know in Georgia it's illegal to live on a boat for more than 30 days? Can't do it. Can't do it. In Hawaii, it's illegal to place a coin in one's ear. Don't do it. You'll be arrested. And this, I found this to be funny. It's in Idaho. All right, check this out. This is kind of lame. And I'm not insulting the state, but in Idaho, it's illegal to sweep debris into the streets. That's the craziest law they have in Idaho. That I want to bring that up. You know, they probably went around. They went around to every governor. What's the craziest law you got? They take it down. Ohio, Alabama, They got to Idaho. The guy's like, you know what's crazy? You can't sweep crap into the street. Like, wow, that must be a real boring state. But I'm just saying. In Illinois, or Illinois, I never knew what that. Chicago, Illinois. It's illegal. No, it's legal. Sorry, for underage culinary students to drink alcohol. You got that, Jordan? Send your mead to Illinois. Chicago is where it's at. It's legal for underage. You got to be a culinary student. In Indiana, it's illegal to ride a horse above 10 miles per hour. Slow that horsey down. And the last, did you know? In Iowa, you can't throw a brick onto a highway. That, my friends. Oh, I got wrong camera angles. This is the camera angle night. That's crazy, huh? I usually have interactive did you knows where you get to type in and take a guess on what you think the answer to the did you know is. But I just wanted to go quick. I wanted to get to my guest right away. But that was Alabama to Iowa. And tomorrow night I'll probably do F, which is Florida to whatever. And we'll go through that. So there's that. Hey, so I got another camera. I want to tell you guys about it. It's kind of cool. I've had several people say, what's it like behind the scenes? Are you doing everything? I said, yeah, I'm doing everything. I'm writing the material. So if it's bad, blame me. I'm picking the guests. Sometimes the guests call me. I'm pulling all the did you know facts. I'm creating the graphics that go on today is National blah, blah, blah day. And did you know whose birthday it was? I do all that. I actually clip out the images to make it transparent. I sit there for like 10 minutes, making a transparent ping if you're into the Photoshop world. I do all of it. And I click the buttons here and I advance to the next scene. So someone said, I should film you. And I said, yeah. So want to see a behind the scenes camera? Here it is. Here's me. Here's my little, this is Wine with Dave. This is what, right here, this lamp casts that glow on my left side of the face, right over there. And then I've got that computer on that side that gives the white glow. There's the warm glow and the white glow. So that's it. So ready? That's a little behind the scenes. That's how it is. That's all it is. Now it looks very professional. All right. I look a little out of focus. Temperature, bright. I got to bring the brightness down a little bit. Do I have to bring the brightness down? The gamma. I got to bring the gamma. There we go. All right. So, thanks for watching. That was Did You Know? And then I'm going to talk about my next guest. But first, today is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020, 9/22/20. Guess what today is, folks? It's this day. That's right. It's National Hobbit Day. Oddly enough, I have a Viking on tonight. Explore the Shire on September 22nd. National Hobbit Day is today. While there, celebrate the birthdays of Bilbo and Frodo Baggins, the novel The Hobbit, and the trilogy The Lord of the Rings trilogy, written by J.R.R. Tolkien. Bring to life the world of Middle-earth according to the stories. Bilbo and Frodo were born during the Third Age in the years 2890 and 2968, respectively. Translated to Shire Reckoning, Bilbo was born in 1290 and Frodo in 1368. They lost me there. I didn't write that. I don't know half of the half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. That's a quote from Bilbo Baggins, from Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien, the writer, of course. So that's cool. Today is Hobbit Day. Today's Hobbit Day. It came off the tongue tough. Hey, guess what happened today in 1994? Does anyone know? And by the way, type in where you're from. I need to know where you're from, okay? Jeremy put in, did you know? Yeah, he was telling me. Hannah Van Gore is here. Hey, mead is technically wine. Are you going to start drinking mead? Hannah, that's a good question. I couldn't get mead in time. Well, actually, I didn't ask my guest to send some. It was totally my fault. But I know it is. Is it technically wine? I'll have to ask my guest. It might be. We will find out. Where are you calling from, Hannah? Where are you listening from? Hannah, in North Carolina, it is technically illegal to sing off tune in church. Yeah, that would make sense. Jeremy, there's got to be a good story for why that's a law. Hannah, there were so many different interesting stories. Okay, people are leaving stuff. Becca Van Gore, how do you even know if the horse is going too fast? Oh, everyone's just responding to all that stuff. Cool. You guys are having a conversation. Hobbits. Becca. I remember. Is Becca? Yeah, Becca is Clanrunda. Full of all the fantasy fun today, I guess. A lot of North Carolinians. North Carolina. It's North Carolina Day. I'm Becca and Jeremy's sister. Cool. Awesome. So you know the guest tonight. So go ahead and follow my page if you haven't already. Yeah, Hobbit Day. What happened today in 1994? Can anyone guess? I'm going to turn the picture on. Boom. I bet you right now you heard the song going through your head. Dun, 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 dun. That's right. 1994, Friends TV sitcom created by David Crane and Marta Kaufman debuts on NBC, starring Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, Matthew Perry, and David Schwimmer. 94. Wow, it seems like yesterday. Seems like yesterday. We've only just begun. Let me click that thing off. Hey, there's a birthday today, too. 1958. The godmother of punk was born. Joan Jett turned 62. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. American rock guitarist, singer, songwriter, producer, founding member of the Runaways. Great movie, by the way. And with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, scored the 1982 U.S. number 1 and UK number 4 single, I Love Rock and Roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. She's also known as the godmother of punk, but I already said that. Happy birthday, Joan Jett. You inspired me. Every kid I knew who was 16 had a crush on you. I toast you. And then years later, we found out you were not into boys. Those were the 70s. We didn't talk about that stuff back then. But what a rocker, huh? Okay, well, let me turn this off. I could keep it on. Could keep there on all night. What's next? Tomorrow night, my guest is Matthew Miner. And he was on a podcast on LinkedIn from a show that I watch. Really deep conversation, an ex-con turning his life around. He started an HVAC company, electrical heating, air conditioning company, and he gives money to the community. He pours his heart back into the community. Really fascinating story. So I'm hoping he's going to be on tonight. It's a little iffy, but he's booked tomorrow night. So I want you to tune in tomorrow night for that. But tonight you are in for a treat. All the way from the land of the ice and the snow where the hot springs blow. Put your wine glasses away, by the way. No need for that. because tonight my guest is 6'3", 245 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. He's laughing. Jordan Stewart, a Viking culturalist who has a recipe for some old-fashioned sweet mead, and he plans on delivering it to your table. Check out this video.
Mead is an alcoholic beverage created by fermenting honey with water, sometimes with various fruits, spices, grains, or hops. The alcoholic content ranges from about 3.5% to more than 20%. The defining characteristic of mead is that the majority of the beverage's fermentable sugar is derived from honey. It may be still, sparkling, and anywhere from dry to sweet. It is often said that mead was the first alcoholic beverage. It isn't difficult to imagine ancient humans coming across a beehive in a tree trunk that has been saturated by rain and fermented by naturally occurring yeasts. After drinking the sweet, boozy honey water, who wouldn't want to learn how to replicate that? Mead was produced in ancient history throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia. Pottery vessels dating from 7000 BC, discovered in northern China, have shown chemical signatures consistent with the presence of honey and organic compounds associated with fermentation. During the golden age of ancient Greece, mead was said to be the preferred drink. The Hispanic Roman naturalist Columella gave a recipe for mead in his writings around the year 60 CE.
Take rainwater kept for several years and mix a sextareus of this water with a pound of honey. For a weaker mead, mix a sextareus of water with 9 ounces of honey. The whole is exposed to the sun for 40 days and then left on a shelf near the fire. If you have no rainwater, then boil spring water.
There he is. Jordan, how's it going, my friend?
What's up, Dave? I appreciate the amazing intro.
I know, huh? You like that? 245
Yeah.
pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. I've always wanted to use that.
By the way, I'll have to remember the did you know for Alaska, because I eventually plan on moving there. Did not know that you are not allowed to keep animals in the back of a vehicle, although I don't know why you would.
Well, maybe they'll fall out. There's no paved roads, and they'll just bump. You have your old dog Fido, and he's gone like 30 miles back. I don't know. That's some crazy stuff. What do you think of Idaho, right? Or no, not Illinois. What is it? Indiana? No. Idaho. How boring is that? It's illegal to sweep debris into the streets. Like, duh, isn't that?
I mean, who's gonna go around with a broom sweeping crap into the streets, anyways?
I know. Who's going to do that? Who does that stuff? Hey, I'm so glad you're on because, I love craft beers. I love wine. Wine with Dave. Love drinking wine. Some whiskeys, bourbons, and all that stuff. But I will tell you, my friend, I've never had mead. And I just found out how it's made today by pulling that video together for you and just doing a little research. But very little research. You know way more than me. Is it a wine? Is it technically a wine?
Yes, it is. It is absolutely a wine. The reason it is a wine is it only uses honey, water, and yeast. Almost all alcohol begins that way. It's little things that are added throughout the process that make it something different. For liquor, it's distilling, but even liquor begins as wine. And for beer, it's adding hops and other things like that.
Yep. So.
But yeah, honey, mead in essence is just honey, water, and yeast. So it's a wine.
It's a type of wine. It's more, it's not more natural. It's all natural. It's just, is it simpler to make than wine, do you think?
That's a great question.
Or quicker. Should I say quicker? Is it like a quicker process?
Well, the quickness of how quick anything ferments depends on the yeast that you use. There are some yeasts that take a little bit longer for it to do its job for the sake of it creating a stronger product. But there are some yeasts that can work very, very, very quickly. They're called speed yeasts typically, or something to that effect. They're typically used for liquor.
Yeah. So, how do you make your mead? Let's just get right into that, and then we'll get into like a little background on who you are. But I'm just curious: is there? Do you deviate from the original recipe? Is it what type of honey do you use? What is there anything special going into this?
Well, the first thing that everyone needs to know is that there is so many different kinds of honey out there on the market. Anywhere between, I'd say, 15 to 30 different types of honey. All of them have different levels of sugar content, which can greatly affect the type of meat that you get. I mean, of course, all of them taste a little bit differently too, which is going to or change the profile. I specifically use raw orange blossom honey. It's widely known as being the best honey that you can get. It's fairly expensive, but it is well worth the money because the taste is phenomenal.
Wow. Is it just the climate where the bees are? Where is it from?
So yeah, orange blossom honey is primarily only harvested from orange trees, which typically, they grow in Florida. So that's where most of the product comes from. I tend to buy it in bulk in like 5-gallon buckets at a time. Which can be pretty expensive for shipping, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's typically where it comes from.
So let's stay on that subject of the honey. Have you tried other honeys and you just did this experimenting and just went, hey, this is the one. This has got this orange flavor. I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, I have tried other honeys. Wildflower is a very, very good honey. Clover can be pretty good. I mean, they all have their pluses and their downsides, I would say. For me, considering I like a really sweet product and I like for it to be strong, I have to go for which honey holds the most sugar, because I want to get the biggest bang for my buck, considering I have to use a pretty good amount of honey to make my product strong and sweet. And for me, that's without a doubt orange blossom.
Right. That's cool. I mean, you spent the time to find the right thing, and then we're the ones that get blessed with it because we get to taste the nectar of the gods, which is the name of your company. Did it take you long to think of that name?
It did take me a couple of weeks because I did want it to be Norse themed, obviously. It was just, it did take me a little bit of time to come up with it. I won't lie.
Yeah. Nectar of the gods. It's
logo.
It's classic. It's pretty classic. All right, so let's get into the whole what got you into mead. What were you doing before that? What kind of led up to it? And I'm going to make you be full screen so you can tell your story here.
Okay, perfect. What got me into mead essentially was I recently got back into doing modeling stuff, which my best friend Zach, that I grew up with, he had been doing some photo shoots with the Reed family. The Reeds do a lot of these Viking photo shoots at their household. And he invited me along for the last one, which was a couple months ago. And he didn't end up making it, but I still went anyways and had an absolute blast. But by the end of the weekend, one of the girls who was there with us, she ended up bringing in a bottle of mead and had explained that it was incredibly hard for her to find and that she had to drive a pretty good distance to go out of her way to get it. And I've never really been much of a drinker myself. I'm not a huge fan of beer. Liquor was the first thing I ever got drunk off of, so I've always had a really kind of bad taste about that. But I drank mead and I instantly loved it. I had to have more of it. I probably had about 6 or 7 cups of it that night. And I went home a little drunk and told myself, like, I've got to figure out how to make this stuff. And that's basically what started it all. Ever since, I haven't been able to put it down. And I just keep learning more about it. It's been an experience for sure.
That's cool. Well, I've got you switched. Let me pop you back in here. I flip cameras around. That's pretty cool. So you tried it and you went, man, this is delicious. I got to try more of this and make it. So you kind of stick to the traditional recipe. Are you coming out with different flavors, or what's on the horizon as far as your mead?
So the thing with flavors in mead making in particular is it's really kind of difficult. There's a couple different methods for how people flavor their mead to, make it, say, apple flavored or strawberry flavored or, whatever. A lot of the ways that they do it is kind of cheaty, in my opinion. A lot of them add in those fruits secondary. It's after the fermentation has already finished.
That was my question. So it's after, yeah.
Yeah, they're just dumping crap in it and letting it sit in there and flavor it. Whereas with me, like, I believe if you're going to do that, then you need to do it in the primary fermentation and you need to get it right. So that way the taste is actually a part of the alcohol rather than something that's added to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very difficult. There are some fruits that push a yeast beyond its capabilities. For example, let's say like the yeast that I typically like to use, so that way the taste is capable of producing alcohol that's 18%.
Wow.
There are some fruits that somehow in some way end up pushing that yeast to 20, 21, 22%. And that typically tends to dry out the mead really bad. So I'm kind of getting to a point where I really just want to focus on the traditional mead because honestly, the flavored stuff is nice. It's a nice addition, but at the end of the day, the traditional recipe is what people are actually interested in because that's what people don't get anymore. So I'm about to just focus on traditional mead.
That's good. Yeah, and I like that you're a traditionalist too, because adding the flavors in the end, you're losing that tradition and you're losing that sense of when someone's trying it for the first time, they want to get the real mead. Like, what is this stuff? I'm sure within a few years, everyone's going to be coming out with mead and it's going to be all kinds of flavors and, honeysuckle and cinnamon and Tabasco. And so, that's good. That's good. How do you bottle it? Is it in cans? Is it bottles? Is it tankards? And I do want to see that tankard you've got. We got to give a shout out to Jeremy.
Shout out to Clan Runda, Jeremy and Beck over there creating some awesome tankards. This is primarily what I drink my mead out of now.
Hold that up to your head.
All right, there you go. It's awesome. Fits me perfectly. What was I saying?
How is it shipped or how is it bottled? Yeah.
Oh, right. So the thing about mead, so a lot of alcohol, specifically with wine, you have to worry about oxidation a lot. You constantly have to worry about keeping a cork in it. You constantly have to worry about air getting to it because it'll cause the wine to go bad. With mead, it's a little bit different because honey never goes bad. And since honey is the main ingredient of mead is something that you really don't have to worry about going bad. It ages better over time, just like wine does.
Wow.
But it's something that you can have out in the open without having a top on, and it's never going to go bad. So,
you know what? That's actually one of my Did You Know topics a few weeks back. The only food that does not go bad is honey. And I remember that. So that's a cool thing that mead's made out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just get wine bottles, your typical size wine bottles, your 750 milliliter bottles. I get those, and I get gallon jugs that just they come with screw-on tops, and people want them. I just fill them up and ship them off.
Yeah. So Bob Goldberg from Maryland is saying, I think I need some mead. So I can't wait to try it. I'm not going to go to any liquor store, and I want you to tell me about that. the difference between the liquor store meads and what you're making. But before we get that question, I'm not going to buy any because I really want to get some from you, and I want to see the real thing. So what is the difference?
Okay.
Why shouldn't someone go to a liquor store?
So the difference between getting legal mead and mead from someone who makes it at home has a lot to do with the requirements that people who make mead, the requirements that are placed on them. For example, people who make mead are typically required to pasteurize their honey, which means that they have to heat it really, really, really hot over an extended period of time to make sure that all bacteria and all the bad things get burned out. But the problem with that is a lot of the flavor profile and a lot of what makes honey healthy for you gets burned out in the process. So what you're left with is a product that tastes absolutely nothing like what it should have or what it began as.
Yeah.
So even with orange blossom honey, after you pasteurize it, you can take the crappiest of raw honeys that you can get, which is Baker's Special. Baker's Special is like the worst honey that's out there. But if it's raw, I would still use that over pasteurized orange blossom honey, simply because of the fact that it still has all of those really important things intact. And the reason I believe that it's important to keep it raw is because obviously alcohol is self-sanitizing. It cleans itself. That's the purpose of alcohol. We clean with alcohol.
Right.
So, as it's fermenting and as it's going through the process of getting stronger, all of the bad things that are in honey anyways are going to die off naturally. So the product that you get from me is going to be 1,000,000 times better than anything you can buy in the store.
Wow.
And you cheaper price at that.
Man, you know how to sell your stuff. I'm like hooked. Just saying that is makes a lot of sense. Is it healthy? Tell me about the health benefits of mead. Well, it's got honey.
Oh God. Well, it's really, I feel like it's not a researched enough of a topic, because I'm a physiologist myself. I'm someone who takes great pride in understanding how the human body works. I've spent a lot of time studying physiology and sports chemistry and nutrition. Alcohol is very bad for you. Very, very, very bad for you, and very bad for the system. But there hasn't been a whole lot of studies done on how mead might actually counteract the unhealthiness of alcohol by being a healthy product. Because if you look at the Vikings, they were absolutely ginormous, huge people. And they drank mead all the time. And one of the biggest culprits of alcohol being bad for you is it doesn't allow the absorption of nutrients. So if these people were absolutely huge, and they were doing nothing but drinking milk and eating cheese all the time. So they were obviously absorbing nutrients. So it's kind of something I would love for more research to come out on it. But I don't think there ever will, because mead is almost extinct at this point.
There's got to be like a third party that will look at it and say, look, honey on its own, we can say healthy, okay, check the box. But honey turned into mead, let's do a study on that. You'd have to pay gobs of money to have the study done, but I'm sure someone has that. They could do that. So where do you see yourself going with this mead business of yours? What are the plans in the future?
Well, aside from just building, hopefully, a huge online community, which would be awesome, what I would really love to do is to open up either one, or if it's successful, a chain of like a modern day Viking hall, where instead of having like the thrones up front, it would be replaced with like a bar to serve the mead, but still keep in like all the beam structures and all the long tables for people to sit and eat at. I would love for there to be axe throwing stations outside and like arch targets set up for people to do stuff like that. Like,
that's
I would love
cool.
for it to be able to come and drink mead, but for like, I don't know, kind of like men to be able to come and escape and like actually be a man. I feel like we don't have a whole lot of escapes like that anymore.
I know. Really.
But I just kind of feel like an experience,
Well, my wife probably right now is watching the Hallmark Channel, so that's probably why I started the show, to be very honest with you. I'm like, I'm not into the Hallmark Channel. I'm sorry. I'm going to start a live show and go for 69 episodes and then finally tell everybody. This is episode 69, so I really don't like the Hallmark Channel.
I don't blame you. Hallmark is even still a network.
I know. Hey, if anyone has any questions for Jordan, please fire away, because we need questions. Anything. Just ask him anything about nutrition, about, because he understands that, about honey, about, I don't know, fears, owning a business, fears, doubts, all that. Everyone has that stuff. Meanwhile, Jeremy is saying axes and mead. Yes. Axes and mead. Oh, my. Bob Goldberg. Herot, keep Grendel out. Folklore festivities from Hannah Van Gore. Hallmark versus mead. Yeah, I'm going to go with mead. I'm going with mead.
Pretty easy choice.
Easy choice. Hallmark or Epic Viking? Which one? Hannah said the same thing. That's so funny. So yeah, any questions you have for him? Let me ask you about the business side of it. I'm going to throw you a little left field question here. Any fears and doubts that you have as a new business owner? I like to ask that. Anything that you might fear that's coming up the pike with COVID-19 or anything, trying to get this message out?
I mean, really, the only difficult thing has been really dealing with shipping, making sure that the products stay safe on the way there. I've already had one snafu where a couple bottles broke on the way to their destination, which is not only a loss in like the cost of bottles, but also the cost of the meat as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, there shouldn't ever be a concern about owning a business. I feel like in America, the easiest a business should be is you have a product that people want and they give you money for it.
And you just have good customer service, and you'll figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, you're passionate about this. So your customer service is going to be, top notch, because if something happens, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, let me send you another one. It broke on the way. So that's what I think. If you're passionate about your business, you're going to do well in it. Let's see. Hannah is asking a question. She's saying, Jordan, what is your favorite aspects of the Vikings? And you're like the southern version, right? I'm the northern, because I'm Swedish. You're more German.
Even though I'm technically Germanic Viking, I have none of the accent.
None. No.
The accent died off with my grandfather. Oh Lord. I would say my favorite aspect of Vikings is, it's hard to word it. I feel like a lot of their violent tendencies, a lot of their philosophy, their ideals, really, I don't know. I felt like it was just like the last. They were just manly men.
Yeah.
It's like the women were women and the men were just manly as hell.
And the women were intense. There was a story on that Dan Carlson's Hardcore History podcast, that 5-hour episode I was telling you earlier about. Oh my gosh, this one woman got taken away. She was married, got taken away by some other really bad dude. Not to be graphic, but he had his way with her. And she ran across a river, and they chased her. And she turned around, and there were people hiding in the bushes on the other side, her people. And she goes, go get him. They ran into the river, got the guy. She beheaded him. She put his head in a sack, went back to her bedroom with her husband there. Where were you? And she's like, pulls the head out, drops it on the floor. and she said, 2 people had sex with me, and one of them needs to watch the other one. Some crazy, like she, from that point on, she was with her husband, with the guy that raped her. His head was on a stake. That is a Viking woman.
Yeah.
Tough, tough, tough.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't fully agree with like religion and philosophy and everything revolving 100% around violence like it did for them, because to them it was everything.
Yeah.
If you died in battle, like you were going to Valhalla. So
Yeah,
they cherished. But aside from them being so violent and them, I don't know, living out like the roles that they did. I mean, most of all, they were just hard workers. They were farmers above all else.
Yep.
The only reason that they were Vikings, which is really just a verb, was because they were trying to seek bigger and better as far as finding better land to farm on.
I think they were entrepreneurs at heart. They were all about conquering and getting a better life. They were never content. You know what I see Vikings as? Like the American Indians of Europe. Weren't they? They loved nature. They were very in tune with nature and hunting from the land, and that whole thing is just that's the European version of our American Indians. Anyway, that's just me. Someone is asking, what's your favorite? Jeremy's asking, what's your favorite flavor that you make so far?
Jeremy, it's always going to be traditional, man. I mean, there's been a couple of apple batches that I've really enjoyed, but at this point, traditional is the easiest mathematically to predict what it's going to taste like, so I know that I'm always going to enjoy it without a doubt.
So let me ask you, how does the apple differ from batch to batch? Is it really depends on the apple, or is it how the apple interacts with the heat and how it's heated up?
Well, it really doesn't depend much on the apple at all. What really it boils down to. So like I'll break down a little bit of the math for you, because it's really kind of simple. So a pound of honey. Let's say I'm using a pound of honey.
Yeah.
A pound of honey equates to roughly 5% alcohol if you're going to use it for the purpose of creating alcohol. So taking that into consideration, if I have a yeast that's 18% and 1 pound of alcohol or 1 pound of honey equates to 5% alcohol, then 4 pounds of honey would give me 20%, right? So that's very easy to understand. So if I use that yeast, that's going to give me 18% alcohol with 2% residual sweetness left over to sweeten the whole product. So the issue with using fruits is fruits are adding an additional level of sugar. And on top of that, they're to some degree adding extra nutrients to the mead, which is boosting the yeast beyond what it's supposed to be capable of producing. So at that point, it kind of becomes really wild. You don't know what you're going to get. I've had some apple meads that I would swear on was better than traditional, and I've had, I mean, a lot of this apple here behind me is almost liquor at this point, because it has gotten so potent and so powerful.
Wow.
And it has sweetness left in it. So yeah, I would much rather prefer traditional at this point.
Traditional's the way to go, huh? A few other people. Well, when I get some from you, it's going to be traditional to start. Let's see what kind of. Oh, here we go. Hannah is asking, what kind of events would you like to attend? I know we were talking about Viking Fest. No.
Yeah, Vikings Con.
Vikings Con.
I mean, they're an event that usually brings in thousands of people. That's very easy money. But of course, the thing with mead is it typically tends to cover a lot of different eras of fantasy. It covers a lot of different time periods. So really, there's no end to the events that I could sell at. I could sell it all types of Renaissance fairs.
Yeah, Roman con,
Roman con.
Celtic con, Irish con.
The Greeks used it all the time, for their sex orgies. They were known for using it.
Yeah, honey.
I mean, there's a lot of different events that can be used. That on my meat at.
That's cool. Jeremy says, our favorite is Jordan's traditional flavor. Hannah says, the apple is also very delicious. And Becca is asking a question. How do you know when your mead is ready? It's kind of like a painting, right? I mean, you got to stop yourself and say, all right, shut the thing down. It's ready. How do you know?
So there are signs. A lot of beginners used what's called an airlock, which looks about like this. You fill it up with water.
Move that to the center so we can see that. There we go.
Right,
yep.
So this is
little to the left.
Airlock. All right. The things cost about 50 cents a piece. You fill it with water, and the idea is that when alcohol is being produced, carbon monoxide is a byproduct of that, which forces air out of the container. So you fill that little bit with water, and it'll bubble up for you. And as the process finishes, the bubbles will start going less and less and slower until there's just no bubbles at all. But as you become more experienced with it, you can look at it while it's happening, and it's hard to tell. It's hard to explain. You're able to see by looking at the meat itself if it's done or not.
Yeah, because I don't even know the process. Is this in a barrel that you can't see, or is it clear? Is it open air?
Yeah. So right behind me.
I'm not trying to give you away your secrets. I'm just curious, though.
No, you're fine. A lot of people brew it in 1 gallon jugs because I'm trying to make a business out of it. I brew it in bulk. And the way that I do it are these 55-gallon water barrels.
Let me switch to full screen so they can see that. Okay.
Right. So I brew them out of these. These are 55 gallons. I typically brew about 45 gallons in it at a time, which gives me just a little bit of headroom, about right to here. And then, like, I'll move the camera just a little bit. If I'm going to an event or something like that, I will put them in these smaller 20-gallon containers.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
For the of transportation.
All right, cool. That's good. So, and how many do you make at a time? Do you make all traditional at one time, and then another week you're doing all apple? Is it just depending on what the need is?
It's really just depending upon what the need is. This last time, I brewed both barrels completely full at the same time. One was completely full of, the other one was of apple. Hannah said the apple was delicious. It's not quite so delicious anymore. It's very, very, very strong and very, very potent. It will get you drunk very, very fast.
Really? But is it tasty, though? Is it acquired, though? I'm dying to try it. Or is it just really strong?
The apple was tasty at one point. At this point, it's practically liquor. If I had to guess, it's probably around 21 to 22% now. It's secondary process. All the times of me racking it, it has still apparently been fermenting just the tiniest little bit over time.
Yeah.
So it's gotten very, very, very strong from all the residual apple that was left in it.
There you go. So are you finding... Again, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's again another reason why I don't want to do fruits anymore.
You'd rather stick to the traditional.
Yeah.
So one of the questions was your target audience. I know you said you could go to all kinds of festivals because the Viking culture isn't a period of time. It actually stretches out, from the Gauls and Germany and Sweden all the way to, heck, I don't know, hundreds of years, right? Way past the Roman times. But is there a demographic that surprises you, specifically like women? Are women loving this when they try it? Young women, older women?
women in particular really do enjoy mead simply because it's sweet. I mean, if we're being honest here, women really love sweet alcohol. So, yeah, if mead is on the sweeter side, they really do love it. Um, and of course, considering mead is the drink of the Vikings, it's really easy to appeal to men too, because to some degree, who wouldn't want to relate more to some of the greatest warriors on the face of the planet? Um, for middle-aged and older couples, it's really easy to appeal to them, simply because of the fact that the older you get, the more you appreciate wine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Older couples tend to drink wine a lot, so mead is kind of one of those things that's a little bit of a specialty item, and it's easy to appeal to older couples on in that regard.
What does mead
So
pair with as far as food goes? If it's so sweet, it probably maybe spicy food like Cajun to kind of pull the heat down, maybe Mexican.
That's a great question. I haven't really thought of what to pair it with as far as food.
Because I heard if you're having, I heard if you're having like Cajun and spicy food, you should have sweet or I forget the other word, but it's really sweet. So, but that's in wine. So I would guess mead might be really good with Cajun jambalaya, and I don't know, something to think about.
That's interesting. You'll have to get back to me on that.
A little new. You should open a restaurant, New Orleans Vikings. You get a New Orleans jazz band in there, and they got the Viking. They never wore the hats with the horns, by the way.
Yeah,
that was one of the questions.
Although here's the thing with Vikings, as far as the food that you're supposed to eat with mead, considering that they were farmers, I mean, really all they had access to was cheese, milk, and meat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from my own experience, I've never had a meal where I felt like mead was a bad option.
Mm-hmm.
So I say just go for it.
So Jeremy says, we very rarely drink, but we enjoy his mead every now and then. Hannah, Vikings ate all meat, no steaks. Jeremy, I'll test the jambalaya with meat. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast the other day about wines and pairing wines and stuff, and that's what the person was saying, that the segment was specifically on Cajun food, right? So, which is jambalaya and that shark meat and the gator meat and all that. Spicy. Shrimp, of course, Tabasco sauce. And they said the sweet wines are really, really good for that. Some Australian wines tend to be sweeter. I know we're off subject from tonight, but now that you're talking about mead, it's like mead probably is awesome with Mexican food and Cajun. I would try it.
Well, I'm an absolute wimp when it comes to spices, so you'll have to try it and let me know.
You're 6'3", full of muscles, and you're afraid to try. You're chicken. Oh my gosh.
No, it's not that I'm afraid to try it. It's that I had a mother who was an absolute addict growing up with trying the absolute hottest thing that she could go into a restaurant and find. I think it just scared the shit out of me growing up. I just didn't want anything to do with it.
Wow. Your stomach is a sissy. So Vikings are on Jeremy. I'll test with I already read that. Jambalaya and meat. Yeah, so target audience. What kind of labels do you have on the wine? So you bottle it, you put it in these wine bottles, and then you put the label on it. How do you sell it? Is it by a 6-pack, a case? How are you selling this?
So I sell it for $15 for your traditional regular wine bottle, right?
Is that 750 ml?
Yeah, it's a 750 milliliter bottle. Or I sell the gallon for $60, which is also a glass carboy jug, good quality glass jug. Yeah, that's how I sell it.
Is that a better deal than getting by the bottle, or is it just slightly better?
Yeah, so There's about 6 bottles of 750 milliliters that go into an entire gallon, which roughly makes me, $15-20 extra selling it smaller like that versus just selling it by the bulk. The
Right.
reason I do that is appreciation. It's easier for me just to fill up a gallon, so I'll give you a discount for making me just fill up a gallon versus making me fill up 6 bottles.
There you go. Tell me about the alcohol content. You were telling me earlier that's high, huh?
Yeah, so with mead, it can span anywhere from 5 to 22%. Mine typically tends to run, because of the yeast I use, mine typically tends to run anywhere between 16 to 18%. But because of some of the fruit flavors, it can go anywhere up to 21 to 22%. But since I'm going to be focusing more on just traditional, I can always assure that it's going to be 18.
Yeah. Wow, that's really strong. That's a great price too.
See, what's beautiful about homemade mead is if it's that strong and there's enough honey left over to sweeten the pot, you almost can't even taste the fact that it's 18%. So you can just be sitting there drinking it like I have been. Like, I'm pretty freaking tipsy right now. You can sit here and drink it like any beverage, and get drunk before you know it. Because you can't really taste that it's 18%. Most of the time you're drinking something that's 18% and you know it. You can taste it. But with this, you really can't.
So the sweetness really masks it, huh, Jordan? It's one of those, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, you really got me. I want to try it. So how do we order right now? Because I've got under your name, your Instagram account is Nectar of the Gods. So I want everyone to go there, follow him, okay? If you haven't followed him already,
right,
you got to do it, or this Viking's going to come after you, kick your butt. A Nectar of the Gods. Okay, do it right now. He knows where your number is. How do we do that? How do we order it?
Yeah, so the best way to do it, you can get up with me on Instagram, and that's all well and good. But the best way to get up with me is on Facebook. And I took your advice, Dave. I did change my my username. You can find me at Nectar of the Gods Mead on Facebook. It's all one word. If you just search that one word, you'll find me. Coolest logo ever. Can't miss it. Just let me know, and I'll send you a bottle or a whole jug.
So I'm going to, let me duplicate this. Hold on a second. I'm going to do this live right in front of everybody. Nectar of the Gods Mead. Facebook.com/Nectar of the Gods Mead. Boom, there we go. I'll put that right there. So that's right over. Jeremy can't see this. Jordan can't see this. It's underneath this is Instagram account, but above is Facebook, Nectar of the Gods Mead. So go ahead and follow, like his page, and every time he posts a photo, which I'm sure he's going to do pretty consistently, and put prices up there and do all that stuff, then you can go ahead and he can't advertise liquor on Facebook. He can't boost anything. I know the restrictions. And actually, Facebook is coming up with some really intense restrictions coming out October 1st. I don't know if you know about this. It's really bad.
They are.
For musicians, music and all that. So enough of that.
Really?
But what's that?
Really? Musicians? Why?
Well, so in other words, if I say Joan Jett, right? I could easily throw a little video up here, a little square video of Joan Jett playing I Love Rock and Roll for like 10 seconds. I would get in so much trouble as of October 1st, they'd probably take my site down. I would lose everything I've done since April 1st. If that's not bad enough, even if I was playing my own song, and I decided to just pull out my telly and just plug away and just stop playing, it's my own song. I have to prove on my Facebook page somewhere where I have a publishing company or publishing deal with my own original music, or they'll take my site down. My own music. Wow. So there are a lot of bands and solo artists that set up the microphone, get the cameras ready, and they go live, and they're out in their backyard playing their own music. There's thousands and thousands of them on Facebook. They are going to have to stop as of like 2 weeks from now. A week and a day, 8 days from now, they're gonna have to stop. It's crazy. But anyway, I digress. So I know you can't advertise the liquor, but you can put photos of stuff up there. But I want everybody to follow Jordan. And let me see. Jeremy's saying people leaving Facebook in droves. Yeah, well, a lot of musicians are going to go to YouTube. That's what's going to happen, Jeremy. Jeremy just wrote that people are leaving. Hannah says alternative social media would be great. Yeah. Well, I get it. I think the musicians that have record deals, since they can't tour now, they're like, where are they getting their money? They're getting their money from Spotify and all that, and they're getting it from licensing through Facebook. And Facebook is just like coming down with the sword.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube isn't much better anyways.
Yeah, it's freer, but, Google owns YouTube, so I think they'll do the right thing. Yeah, we need an alternative to social media. That would be really good. Hannah, we need that. We need Viking Book. Come out with vikingbook.com. How cool would that be, huh? A Facebook for all Vikings. Just the whole Viking attitude. Like, we don't have laws. And when your account dies, they just put it in a raft and light it on fire and send it out into the ether.
That's a great idea. It could happen, Hannah.
Let's see. Hannah is saying he can advertise the honey-loving Vikings. Yeah, there you go. So great having you on the show. It's 10:01. I mean, I wish you the best of luck. We're buddies right now, so we're connected. I'm going to be following you. Follow me. I just want everyone to follow him. Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say? You want to stick to the traditional? You want to get it out there to everybody? You want people to buy your stuff?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It's been fun. It's been a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, the mead helps, right? You had some mead.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little bit looser. Yeah, if there's anyone out there who sees this and is interested, just come and let me know.
Yep.
I'll be happy to supply you.
I like that you said, yeah, this was good. It's a lot easier than I thought. Yeah, easier than you thought. Drinking mead, 18% alcohol. Duh. I think so. I think it's easy. Jordan, you're the man.
Rough of it too.
Rock on, brother. I wish you the best of luck. We'll stay in touch.
All right, Dave, I appreciate it.
All right.
Have yourself a good night.
And actually stay on Skype for like 5 more minutes because we have an after party I forgot to tell you about. It's a little 5-minute thing, all right? Stay right on there. All right, that was... Oh, where am I? Change my camera angles. Jordan's great. Good guy. So I want you to go there. Yeah, Nectar of the Gods Mead. Facebook. Or Instagram, Nectar of the Gods. People are leaving even more comments. Let's see. You can have I'd sign up for Viking Book. Haha. Yeah, Viking Book, huh? Wouldn't that be cool? Not because it's just Vikings, but it's the Viking way of life. It would be just crazy. Let's conquer the world. Forget all these laws. Just like sky's the limit. Although you need rules, right? But I don't know. You need rules. Just a tankard full of mead and you can do anything. I know. Yeah, he had a tankard. By the way, let me plug Jeremy Buckholz. Clan Runda. Jeremy, put a link to your Facebook page or your Instagram. Put that in there because what Jordan was drinking out of, if any of you guys like this, and I know there's been a lot of people watching because I sent this out to like 16 different pages right now, so we're going to collect the numbers in a few minutes. So he'll be really happy. But he's been drinking from a tankard that was created as one long piece of wood that was carved in such a way that could fold and kind of come together by Clan Runda. They're awesome. They make Viking chairs, wooden tankards. I mean, they're working on a huge bed right now. I mean, they're documenting these images of this bed. Really, really cool. I'm sorry, not a bed, a tent. Huge wooden beams, tent, the eagle, you got to see it. Great stuff. Awesome stuff Jeremy Buckholtz is doing doing over there in Instagram world, which Facebook owns, by the way. Vikinggram. We should start Vikinggram. Would you join that, Hannah? Vikinggram and Viking page, Viking book. We all need this in our lives. Oh, I get it. Oh, yeah. We all need someone you can lean on. Vikings were actually very advanced in their legal system for their time. Yeah, you're not drinking mead. That's coming from a very sober mind. That's a good point. There it is, Clanrunda. Thanks, Dave. You're welcome, Jeremy. So, I'm trying to support him. Really good. Good. We got to have you on, Jeremy, in 2021. I'm going to be taking a break in the winter, but January on, I want you guys back on. Hell, I'll run it. Yeah, that'll be good. Vikinggram. Face Viking or Viking book? Viking book. I like Viking book. Anyway, it's 10:05. I am going too long here. Hey, I usually have a closing joke. I don't know if you guys know, but I love to dance. I just love to dance. It's one of the things I like to do. But it can be dangerous because you can get addicted to certain dances. I mean, it's just like any addiction, right? And I just wanted you guys to let you know that I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I'm okay. I turned myself around. I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around. I thought that was funny. I'm just saying. The glass is done. Tonight sponsored by Derivative. Hey, take care, everybody. Tomorrow night, an ex-con who turned his life around. Tune in. Take care. Follow Clanrunda. Follow Nectar of the Gods.